I mean, our customers don't just like spending their free time poking around Find a Code to see what's there. They're doing a job. They've got things and tasks that they're trying to do, and they're trying to do them as quickly as possible because they want to go home on time. So, like it says on our website right now, you can do 47 minutes worth of research in 5.3 seconds. It's so much more efficient for our customers. And when it comes down to it, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to answer those questions they have, get past that stumbling block, get over that speed bump, and move forward with what they're working on.
Welcome to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. I'm your host, LaMont Leavitt. In a world overflowing with noise, confusion, and distraction, we're here to cut through the clutter and explore bold, unique paths to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. Through candid conversations with business leaders, wellness experts, industry pioneers, and innovators, we'll uncover insights to help you discover your own personalized, unique approach to thriving. Tune in, trust the compass of wisdom within, and find your fountain of vitality. Hello, this is LaMont Leavitt. Welcome to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. We are thrilled to have with us today David Berky. He is the CIO, Chief Innovation Officer at innoviHealth. And we're thrilled to have you with us today, Dave.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We've been through quite a ride in building products for customers, and it's been an exciting journey. Love to have your thoughts on the importance of putting the customer first. I'll tell you a brief story about my dad. First of all, when I was a kid, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up, and he said, "Don't worry about what you're going to do or be. If you focus your career on helping people, putting people first, and make money secondary, you'll be fine." And at the time, back in the 80s, I didn't realize he was telling me to build SaaS type products and leverage technology, but that's what we've done, and it's been a great journey. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts about kind of how to deal with customers and putting them first through technology. Give me stories you can share with us.
Story, sure. One of our earlier stories that happened fairly early in our company history was we've gotten our primary product, Find a Code, out and going, and it had been well received by a lot of people in the industry. And one particular company came to us, and we were quite surprised because they were a huge company, huge company. And they came to us and said, "Hey, we like your Find a Code product, but we'd like it to do these different things, and we'd like to have it work a little bit differently." And so we said, "Okay, well, give us a week or so to start kind of make a new framework for it, and we'll make a copy of it, and we'll start to modify it a bit for what you're looking for." So we really wanted to land this customer because they're a big company, be a good customer. So we started modifying it, and then about 2 weeks later, we were on a conference call with them, and we had our developers on the conference call as well, listening in. And as they would talk about things and use the new software and we're seeing how it worked and trying it out, they had their users there and their customer experts there. And as they used it, they had suggestions. And so in the background, we had our developers working on any suggestions that were easy enough to implement at that point. So every few minutes we'd say, "Oh, okay, well, refresh that page. Is this how you want it? Do you want it to look like this?" And they were just astounded at the way we could just change things that quickly. And the fact that we were listening to them and making those changes and willing to make it work the way they wanted it to work. And so that really impressed them. And they were very surprised at how anxious we are to please them and how quickly we could do that. And that kind of set the tone for the company because we've always been very customer focused. When we hear of a need that a customer has, we want to meet that need as soon as possible. In the sense that we don't really worry about long development cycles of our products. We like to get those features out there into the customers as soon as possible. And I think that's made a big difference, not only with our customer service, but our perception in the industry as people see us as fast movers and quick changers and early adopters. And that's especially helped in this age of AI.
Thanks, Dave. Even internal tools, not just for our customers, but you've been involved with development when we have internal people that need faster solutions or better solutions for our websites where they don't have to go back to development to get content out there or designed. And we've got some great internal tools by listening to not just our customers, but our employees. What's an example of one or two things you dealt with with our own company to make things better?
One of the issues we found early on was we accumulate so much information, so much data, that we had to have some sort of internal mechanism to organize all this data and to be able to load it in, import it from all kinds of different data sources, as well as organize it in a way that it made sense to both us and to our customers, and be able to pull that information out of that big data repository and then display it on our websites or through APIs or different modalities. So, building an internal kind of data management tool was one of the best things we did, because now we're not dependent on the always going to the developers to have to do something or add something new or change something or tweak something. Now, a lot of that can be happening through this. We call it panel, because it's kind of like the control panel that we can import things, we can review things, we can set things up using the system, and it's primarily an internal tool that we use, but it's helped our whole company kind of get together on this one tool and be able to do all these functions that don't take the developers a whole lot of time to do over and over and over again. And that's one thing we've always looked for in our company, is we've looked for things that we're doing repetitively and step back and said, okay, how can we make this, how could we build a tool out of this? How can we make this simpler? How can we spend less time doing that? And again, with the advent of AI and the many AI tools that have come into play, we've just had all kinds of new projects that we've been able to do within our company to save time, to be more efficient, to reduce costs using AI and utilizing AI. And that's been a great thing to expand the tools internally, as well as the tools that we're providing now for our customers.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been fun to see the excitement in all the opportunities are out there. As it relates to constraints, some people look at their whole company and they go, "How am I going to AI or automate everything?" I think what's important is to look at those things that take the most time. What are those repetitive tasks you do, and the ones that are being the time sucks? Focus on those first, and not just think you need to do everything. You don't need to automate something that you just do occasionally or barely at all. Focus on the pain points.
Exactly, but you do want to document those things you do occasionally, and
Yes.
that's one of the other processes that we've been working on, is making sure we have everything in the company documented properly, so that if someone's not available or someone leaves the company, those jobs and those functions are still there. And again, going back to AI has been very useful for that, because we can have AI help us build the videos and the PDF files and the lists and the checklists and things that document what people do within the company. So another great use for AI internally in the company as well.
Yeah, when you have a company too, it's important to make sure processes can continue when someone's sick, not around, not available. How oftentimes do I've even called larger companies and say, "Well, I want to work with you on this certain thing," and they'll say, "Well, so and so they're on vacation for 3 weeks, so we can't help you." Like, so you're telling me this company process is all locked up with one individual, and the company is stuck until that one person comes back. That's a perfect sign of a process that needs some automation and documentation.
Right, as well as having backups to each of the processes. So, for example, the person running our payroll has a backup. So if that person's on vacation or isn't available or is sick, there's a backup to that person that can still run the payroll, because we want to have those critical functions both in the technology and in the operations of your company that have backups and people that understand those functions and can do them. And you test that on a regular basis. So you say, okay, this week you're not going to, the normal person is not going to run payroll. We're going to have the backup run payroll and see how that goes. And that also helps improve the process and improve the documentation as we find things we didn't mention or things that had changed. So that continuous checking and reviewing and updating is important to your business as well, for the continuity of the business and for the sanity of the business owners.
Right. I found that I feel a lot more confident even in our programming department when I have pairs of programmers working on different projects. So if one's out, the other one can on vacation or whatever. The process is still continuing forward, and it takes stress off your employees too when they don't feel like, oh, I got to come back. I'm gonna have this big pile of stuff to do, and when they come back and they know that they've had someone that's been covering for them while they've been gone.
Right. As well as scheduling things like vacations. We're in the summertime right now, and scheduling a summer vacation can be really hectic with all the different people and all the different schedules and the things the business is still trying to do. But again, with having those backups, you can say, okay, yeah, it's fine if you're gone for that week because that person, that your backup can cover you there, and then they'll be gone later on, and you can cover for them. So it works out really well for that also.
Yeah, that's good, true. Hey, so at innoviHealth, we've had a lot of fun working with AI and starting to use and leverage AI more. We started out a lot in sales and marketing and other areas, and I think a lot of companies talk to your employees. A lot of employees may have trepidation, worrying about their job, worrying about, am I going to have a job in the future? I think what's important is to, as a management team, to be involved in helping people feel comfortable with AI as a tool to help them be more efficient and with their job and do things better and help them get excited about automating things they don't particularly like to do that are monotonous.
Exactly. In fact, our customer service department was quite a bit concerned as we started getting more and more into AI because they would hear about different customer service departments being outsourced to AI. But I think the more and more they realize that no, we want to provide AI tools for you because you're the most important part. You're the front line of our customer service. You're the people that they talk to. We want to have you supported and feeling comfortable and being able to help our customers to the best of your ability. So, what tools can we provide you? Not that how can we replace you, but what tools can we give you to make your job easier, make you more comfortable, make you more productive, and make you feel like you can spend more time with the customers because like you said, LaMont, if they can do things that are routine and those things can be automated, then we want to be able to have them have that extra time for the customers to really give the customers that white glove treatment that they expect from us and deserve.
Yeah, it's been great to watch. And the initial, I remember one of our employees said when I first started, I wasn't sure this was going to help or be worth her time going into the programming side, and they were once they started using some of those productivity tools in the programming side of things, they got excited and less concerned. Uh, Love your thoughts on any development related things as well before we dive more into AI and LLMs and some of the new technologies we're playing with now.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of black and white, I guess, with the developers where they're generally interested in technology, but then there was also some hesitation as to is this technology going to replace me? And that's been a big concern about developers and programmers for the past couple of years now. But as they've adopted that technology and the AI technology, learned how to use it, and learned how to be much more productive, and as we've recognized that, okay, the value of our developers isn't in them writing another line of code. The value is in them understanding the system, understanding our customers, understanding our business. So as we've involved them more in what's happening in the business and how the business functions and why we're doing things and why we're developing things, it gives them a much more connection to the business. They're more strongly connected to the business. They understand what's happening and they get more buy-in, and that gets them more excited about it. And then when we bring them a new tool, an AI tool, or a new system to work on, it's a source of excitement, not a source of fear, because they know that we value them and they're important to us, the company, and the success of our long term.
Love your thoughts on we didn't used to use Cursor years ago, and then when that came out in development, any anecdotal stories you can share with us about the programs have shared with you about using Cursor?
Just that again, there was that hesitation, that concern about what it could do, and is it going to be right, and how good is it going to be. But as they started giving it little tasks to do, and it'd do them fairly well, then they'd give them more and give it more and give it more. So they kind of eased their way into it, and it took a little bit of time, at least a few months for them to get comfortable with the environment, the development environment, what was coming back, how to review what was coming back. But then they started getting really excited because they were thinking, okay, I can then have another AI or have the same AI review the code it just wrote and look for things. As long as I'm kind of giving it the right prompts and giving it the right information and asking the right questions, it can review itself. And so some of those concerns they thought about, oh, I'm going to have to review every line of code that comes out of this thing, they were starting to figure out ways to have the AI do that. So again, they're kind of multiplying their effectiveness, not just kind of in a linear way, but almost in an exponential way. And so it's been amazing to see. We'll ask for a new feature or something, and it's done in 15-20 minutes, as opposed to, well, yeah, it's going to take several hours, and I might be able to get it back to you tomorrow, which we thought was a really good time frame. Yeah, if we can get new features and the things out within a day or two, hey, that's great. But now that's collapsed down into 10-15 minutes. Oh yeah, half an hour I can have that done. Of course, that's not big systems, but that's the changes that sometimes just kind of pile up on the side. I'll get to it, I'll get to it. But now it's so easy to do for them that they're just keeping on top of all those changes, and it really reduces the backlog of things that we wanted to do, which makes the developers feel better because they feel like they have more freedom to take on some of the bigger projects and some of the things that they like to do that they're interested in, and they're not always bogged down in the day-to-day tasks of little things doing, because they can do them so much quicker now.
One thing as a business owner that
For Google, for example, had their AI now part of their search. So instead of just doing a search and coming up with links and then going to each of those links or each of those web pages to see what information you needed to glean to make the decision or to answer the question you had, and that was something we built into Find a Code. In fact, we'd often talk about how, oh, yes, it's a Google-like search that you just type in your keywords and it provides all the resources, the documents for you to look at and answer your question. Well, the AI generative AI technology allows the AI to look into all those files, all those locations, extract the information, synthesize it, and provide an answer to your question. And as we started realizing, okay, that's actually what our customers are trying to do. I mean, our customers don't just like spending their free time poking around Find a Code to see what's there. They're doing a job. They've got things and tasks that they're trying to do, and they're trying to do them as quickly as possible because they want to go home on time. So if we can provide a way that not only um, helps eliminate some of that time, but helps them provide even better answers to what they're doing, that's even a better solution for them. So if they can ask the question they have in the first place, and the AI can gather those resources, synthesize them, and provide that answer, it's a much better user experience all around. One of the interesting things we had with our website is as it grew and grew and grew, and findacode.com just kept growing with more things we were adding to it. Because every time a customer asked for something, we went out and got the data and put it in there, made an interface to it, connected it all up, hooked it in the database, imports, that whole process. But our website grew and grew and grew to the point that one of our biggest questions our customer service people were answering was, where do I find this tool or that tool or this data or that data? And we realized that, oh, AI can solve that problem because now they can just ask Amy. Amy can tell them we're on the website to find something. Or if they have a particular question, Amy can just answer that question right there and type it in. And the ability for Amy to understand what they've typed in before, when they ask follow-up questions, it's providing answers that are so much more useful than just kind of the very beginning, because it's now understanding the customer, understanding their background. Plus, beyond just a standard LLM like a ChatGPT or any other basic publicly available interface, the data that Amy's looking at is specifically based on billing and coding for the medical industry. So we're not looking at all kinds of random information. We're sorting through that. We're not sorting through it. We're picking and choosing information only from authoritative sources, such as the American Medical Association, American Hospital Association, and a lot of the places that are producing that content that we've been licensing for years and have integrated into Find a Code and built our own UI. That's what Amy's based on, that information. So we can guarantee our customers are getting really good answers. In fact, the statistics we've been tracking over the last couple of months are showing a 99.8% satisfaction rate with the answers that the Amy tool is providing. So we're really pleased with that. And having that authoritative information in that organized database that's all set was just perfect for adding that AI layer on top of it to provide those answers. But also the thing that makes that stand apart as well is the subject matter experts we have within the company. Because all along we've had people that understand medical billing and coding and auditing and documentation and denial management, all those aspects, they fully understood those. So not only have they helped us organize our data in our data repository, but they've also been helping us provide correct answers that Amy would supply to people, not only for the correct data, but how should this be presented? Should this be a bullet point list? Should this be a paragraph? Should this be a chart, a graph? So they've helped us narrow in and focus Amy's answers to be the most useful they can be for our customers, and not just here's a whole bunch of text and information, because that just says, okay, we've transferred the problem from one area to another area if you still have to read 3 pages of information. But if we can use Amy to provide a summary and then the backup information, if the summary is all they need and that answered their question, they can move on. But all that backup information is available there and brought together from all of our gigabytes of data that's in our data repository, that's summarized there for them if they need that backup information. So like it says on our website right now, you can do 47 minutes worth of research in 5.3 seconds. It's so much more efficient for our customers. And when it comes down to it, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to answer those questions they have, get past that stumbling block, get over that speed bump, and move forward with what they're working on their normal job. So it's been a greatly received tool, and we're very proud of Amy and how well she's been doing answering those questions. And we're excited about bringing in more content and more information to allow her to answer even a bigger, broad range of questions as well related to the medical industry.
It's been it used to be a couple years ago, people would come to Find a Code because they needed a research tool with this big online library where they could research out and figure out why they had a denial, what's going on with their claim, or whatever. We're having a whole new batch of customers that are coming to Find a Code to get answers to their questions, not just so they can research. And our existing customers are excited because they can just ask questions and get back to their day job. I still remember someone used to say her job took 8 hours a day back in the years ago, and she can now do her job in 2 hours because of Finding Code. Well, now it's probably even faster than that now with Amy. So it's been real fun, and I haven't in a long time had a new product come out or be involved in a product where was truly wowing a customer. I'd go online and say, "Well, try it out. Ask whatever question you want." And people have started to push it by doing all kinds of things, like dropping a note in there, and oh, wow, that came back and didn't even realize it would do that well at it. And so it's been when you take a lot of good, truthful, right data from one repository, and that's how you're writing a decision. It's like having that very smart person next to you that you've always, you know how there's like an expert in the field you want to just call, but you don't want to bug them all the time. Um, but with Amy, you can bug her as much as you want to inside Find a Code, and that's been really fun to watch people think, well, if she answers that, maybe I should try this and try this billing thing too. So, anyway, a great product, a very timely product. So, if you're a corporation or a company that wants to find out more about this, please contact innoviHealth and how we can connect with you. We're looking at a lot of different options to have Amy live, not just in Find a Code, but in other places as well. So, uh, anything else, Dave, you'd like to add about Amy?
Just that we're really excited about the AMI interface, and we believe it's going to be the future of the interface to data repositories like ours, and it gives us the freedom and the ability to expand our data repository without worrying about the burden of creating additional UI in the website, because all that information can be routed through Amy, and she can provide those answers for people. It's great.
That's great. Well, hey, Dave, thanks so much for your time today. It was great to talk with you and about evolution of technology and AI. One thing I did want to just talk to you a little bit more, but one last thing is this industry is moving fast with AI and LLMs and understanding when to use what LLM under what circumstance and how to make it safe. What are some things you can share with us about LLMs and costs and being able to be dynamic and flexible and fast moving? We started the call with that, but for developers who are trying to do things with their content, what's any words of advice you can give there?
A lot of testing, because as we've seen, new LLMs and new versions are coming out, sometimes monthly, even weekly sometimes. So it's important that you build a framework that allows you to kind of swap in those different models so you can test those. And you also create a set of test, in our case, a set of test questions that as we bring in a new model and we say, okay, how well is this model going to do versus the previous model? We can compare the answers to those questions and see, is it providing better answers, equal answers, not as good answers? And then each of the models has different levels that it can operate on. So optimizing the best answers for the lowest cost is something that we have to be building into our systems to make sure that as a new model comes out, we can figure out what's the best level of that model to use and whether we should use that model for this type of question or a different type of question. So there's a lot of different moving parts that, as long as you're aware of all those and you're building a system that can accommodate all those like we have for Amy, it makes it more exciting when a new model comes out, because, oh yeah, let's test it, let's see what it can do. And that's an important part of having in your AI systems.
Yeah, I would say too, if you're a developer, it's important for your management to be able to make good business decisions. So provide stats for them. How many tokens is this costing per million tokens? Um, and how many tokens does it take to generate the answer from the question? And have that data available. So that way, when you're building a product, you're not just guessing. You're building the right product at the right time, and you know what your costs are, so you can go to market wisely and not be upside down, not being aware of that. So anyway, that's really important to
Very
get your
important.
stats going when you're working on this. Make good data decisions and provide the tools for your people and your company so they can make the right business decision for the customer and for the company. If people want to reach Innovi Health, Dave, where should they go if they want to reach out to either the sales or marketing or learn more about Amy? Where would they go to look online?
Right now, the best way is to contact us at findacode.com. We've got all kinds of ways to contact us: chat or email or phone calls. And we can set up demos that will help you walk you through what Find a Code is, how to use Amy, what Amy can do for you, and getting an account set up so you can try it out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. And if you want to just also reach out on innoviHealth.com and see all other products that are available, you can reach us on innoviHealth.com as well. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Fountain of Vitality podcast. Head to fountainofvitality.com for more episodes, insights, and resources. Remember, your health is yours to own. Take charge, focus on what you can control, and keep exploring what works for you. Always be your best self, lift others, and trust the compass of wisdom. Until next time, stay vibrant and take care.